1981 was one of the wildest years in the history of the National Football League. But in a season where teams ascended, then plummeted like comets, the Dallas Cowboys remained a fixed star. The Dallas Cowboys' 1981 roster contained 9 rookies, an imposing number for a team running in the thick of the championship chase. But their philosophy has always been to rearm, not rebuild. And this season, they directed their sights toward the flag of the NFC East. The NFC East is like a medieval fortress that is claimed by many warring factions. All lay siege to it. A few may even sack and seize it. But for most seasons, it's been the permanent stronghold of the Dallas Cowboys. In 1980, the East was captured by the Philadelphia Eagles, a team grimly determined to hold it again. But grim and determined aptly described Tom Landry's goal for reclaiming the East. The Cowboys' quest began in Washington, where the Redskins became their 17th straight opening day victim. Touchdowns by Billy Joe Dupree and Drew Pearson spurred the Cowboys to a 26-10 victory. The Cowboys are historically explosive out of the blocks. They outmuscled the Cardinals the second week, then overwhelmed the Patriots on Monday night. Victory over the Giants made it 4 in a row. After 4 weeks, the tremors became a quake. The Dallas Cowboys were undefeated, rumbling toward another Eastern Division championship. Tony Dorsett's shining gifts have showered him with success and glory. But until this season, all-pro status had always eluded him.
He's out to the 30, breaks to the right, 35, 40, still on his feet, at the 50, one more block, he might go. He's at the 30, he's being chased at the 20, the 15, the 10, touchdown, Cowboys! A 75-yard touchdown run for Tony Dorsett.
I think he was disappointed with his performance last year. He felt that there were a couple of games that got away from us that with a better performance from him, he could have changed. I think whenever a player feels that that personal commitment could change things on the team, it's a great help to him, and I think that's what happened with Tony.
He's got a lot of character. He's got a lot of poise, and he's got a lot of class, and he's showing it this year.
When we pick captains for the Cowboys, we try to pick players who are leaders, and we feel like there wasn't any question on Tony Dorsett because he demonstrates all the qualities right now that you want in a captain.
Captainship for the Cowboys led to more than flashy and spectacular open field runs. It meant firing into the explosive core of the game. Number 33 carved out the hard yards, the first downs, the touchdowns. A fifth gear other backs only dream about sped this Ferrari of runners to over 1,600 yards rushing and drove the Cowboys flat out to a title.
As time goes across the middle for Dorsett at the 40, the 45, the 50, hit, and he's gone. He's at the 30. Touchdown of 73 yards.
In his 5th season, Tony Dorsett became the Cowboys' all-time leading rusher. For him, the year was a smoothly paved expressway. For 2 veteran Cowboys, however, 1981 was the end of the road. 13-year linebacker D.D. Lewis and 11-year safety Charlie Waters desperately wanted a championship in their final season.
Once it's behind me, it's going to be behind me. You know, I'm going to wring that towel completely out. You know, I'm going to ride the wave until it's until I have to fall off of it.
Charlie Waters played on one bad leg and one good heart, driven by a dream that guided his final season.
I feel like our team has a chance to win the Super Bowl. That drive inside of me is saying, hey, try to be a part of that one more time. And it's worth the pain, the misery that your family has to sacrifice. Worth it to take that chance to be able to get to the Super Bowl one more time and finish your career with a Super Bowl victory. You know, I'm not the star anymore. You know, I'm just out there holding it together.
Even hobbled, Waters played reckless and daring football and was the emotional and spiritual leader of the defense. The intellectual leader was Tom Landry, and under his artful direction, the offense rolled up numbers like a gas pump. They were not a team of one-trick ponies, but show horses who went through their paces without a fall. Talented reserves like Glenn Carano and number 23 James Jones added credence to the notion that the Cowboys trotted out more fancy dancers than a hit Broadway musical. After dazzling their fans through the first 4 weeks, this star-spangled team fell into a slump. Consecutive losses to the Cardinals and 49ers placed the Cowboys 2 games behind the Eagles, and their glitter dissolved like makeup on a fading beauty queen. Turning darkness into light is a hallmark of the Cowboys. But ahead of them lay a string of 4 testing games that would make or break their season. The Doomsday defense, led by Harvey Martin and John Dutton, grounded the Los Angeles Rams. Then Danny White and the offense buried them. While the Cowboys swallowed up the Rams, nothing went down easy against the Miami Dolphins.
Play fake, Danny White back to throw. Looks deep right side. He goes deep in the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Ron Springs. Crowd going crazy. Springs being mobbed in the end zone.
2 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes produced a dramatic come-from-behind victory. Next came a visit to Veterans Stadium, a house of horrors filled with unfriendly faces, the home of the first-place Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys trailed for most of the game, almost running out of field and clock. But in the end, they found the time and place for victory. The 17-14 triumph was their 3rd win in a row and moved the Cowboys into a first-place tie with the Eagles. Back home against the Bills, they pulled the game and an old chestnut out of the fire.
Handoff, Dorsett pitches it back to White, looking for Tony Hill deep, and he's open all by himself. There's the pass catch, touchdown.
Perfect execution produced a 27-14 victory and sole possession of first place in the NFC East. Teamwork is the essence of the Doomsday Defense, a unit whose strength resided in their front four. These were the skyscrapers, the earth movers, while some men are built like mountains, precious few can move them. Randy White is a man mountain and quite simply the finest defensive tackle in the game. Concentrating on White, opposing teams opened things up for John Dutton, Harvey Martin, and Ed Too Tall Jones. After 5 seasons of standing in place, the football career of Too Tall Jones revolved to center stage. Opposing tackles dreaded facing the looming specter of number 72, an all-pro from whistle to gun. Teams never could run straight at Too Tall. Now they found it impossible to run away from him. Quarterbacks floundered and fell under this pressure which produced a league-high 37 interceptions. Rookie free agent safety Michael Downs, number 26, stole 7 passes. One of the most inspirational players was Dennis Thurman, who made the difficult conversion from safety to cornerback and intercepted 9 passes. Players like Brunick, Hegman, Dickerson, Brown, and number 31, Benny Barnes, created 53 turnovers. However, the biggest story on the Cowboys, and perhaps in the entire NFL, was the incredible story of Everson Walls. Walls, like fellow rookie Michael Downs, grew up a few blocks from the Cowboys training complex. Ignored in the draft, number 24 came to Dallas from Grambling University as a free agent cornerback and rose from scrub to starter, from obscurity to stardom, faster perhaps than anyone in his sport. He was the board in a quarterback's game of darts. And while some throws hit the mark, Everson Walls turned this game upside down, and go became stop.
So far, the score's been pretty even. He catches a couple and they catch a couple. It kind of offsets each other.
The acrobatic Walls intercepted a team record 11 passes and became the first rookie to lead the NFL in that category since 1967.
I would say I'm a young professional ball player. Young in heart, but not in spirit, because I'm out there trying every play just like anyone else. And I think my statistics are proving that, I can be as good as any professional ball player out there.
It was a confident Cowboy team led by all-pro place kicker Raphael Septien that faced the Eagles Week 15 in a game that decided the title in the NFC East.
Back into 4-man rush. White going deep down the middle. Johnson's open. Caught. Touchdown. California Quake goes to work. He got behind the double coverage. of Blackmore and Shara.
Behind touchdowns by Butch Johnson and Ron Springs, number 20, this star-spangled team swept to a 21-10 victory and the championship of the East. Many factors accounted for the Cowboys' 12th Division championship. One of them was a group of men known as the Good Hands people. Under a rainbow, Cowboy receivers were pots of gold. Sure-handed wide receivers Drew Pearson, Tony Hill, and Butch Johnson were complemented by tight ends Jay Saldy, Billy Joe Dupree, and number 84, Doug Cosby. Up front was a solid offensive line. All-pro tackle Pat Dunham, guard turned center Tom Rafferty, all-pro guard Herbert Scott, tackle Jim Cooper, and guard Kurt Peterson ensured the continuing success story of quarterback Danny White. In only 2 years, the poised White has become one of the most accurate quarterbacks in pro football. And this season, he was the second-ranked passer in the NFC. A competitive spirit, not statistics, were the measure of this man. The mobile White confronts broken plays as one would approach a buffet supper, sampling a wide variety of delights before concluding the meal. The conclusion of any meal is dessert, and dessert to this star-spangled team meant a 15th trip to the playoffs. The Cowboys' first playoff opponent were the loose and hungry Buccaneers. The call went out for defense.
Get him, defense!
And Doomsday answered loud and clear. The defense brought the Bucs to their knees, knocked them out, and shut them out. Primed by Doomsday, the Cowboys pumped out 38 points. The rout of Tampa Bay, the 18th straight victory at Texas Stadium, set up a revenge rematch with the San Francisco 49ers for the NFC Championship. On October 11th, the 49ers humbled the Cowboys in a game that was decided in the first few minutes. 3 months later, just the last minute stood between the Cowboys and the Super Bowl. In a season of 1,000 plays, often only one play determines the destiny of a football team.
Splitbacks on 3rd down and 3 from the Cowboys 6. 49ers trail. Montana on the rollout to the right side. Pulls up. Being chased. Finally fires in the end zone. Clark, touchdown! Dwight Clark catches the ball. 9.5 yards deep in the end zone.
The Cowboys lost by a point, 28-27. They were not NFC champions. there would not be a 6th trip to the Super Bowl. Instead, there was a defeat with honor. A defeat more brilliant than most victories. Standing toe-to-toe, helmet to helmet, the Cowboys battled fiercely, slugging it out the full 60 minutes. The narrow defeat obscured for the moment the marvelous accomplishments of a season. 16 straight winning seasons, a 15th trip to the playoffs, the best record in the NFC against AFC teams, an NFL record 31 playoff game appearances, 9 NFC championship game appearances out of 12, and 12 division championships. An everlasting record of achievement for this star-spangled team.